Hey there YouTube, this is SJM4306 back with another product review. This time we are looking at FitVII, FitVII. Not sure if these are Roman numerals, if that's part of the name. Anywho, they make a bunch of like smart watches slash fitness trackers, etc., etc. Anywho, they sent me their model HM57, and this guy retails currently for just shy of 40 bucks. It's like 39 something, like 99 or whatever. So not super cheap, but also not super expensive, especially compared to like a name brand smartwatch. You're going to be spending well over 100, probably closer to the $200 mark. Anywho, they sent me this guy to review, and yeah, see here it has a 1.85-inch display, alarm clock, remote photography. It just connects over Bluetooth, so sport, water resistant, music control, and also it says you can make and take calls. Obviously you will need your phone paired to it and within range, so it's not like this has like a cellular data connection or anything like that. Resolution, interestingly enough, is 240 by 280. Doesn't say the battery capacity. Interesting. I think they did tote that this lasts like a full week or something, like a couple days at the very least. We'll test that out. It says it's not an electrocardiogram, etc., but it does do like heart rate kind of stuff. It does have its own app, which is always kind of a bit of annoyance. Every device that I buy nowadays has its own app, which is starting to get a little bit annoying. It's called FitCloud Pro, and I'll take one for the team and install it onto my phone to get this guy working. Anywho, yeah. Okay, here we go. We have another QR code to download the app, another one for a video guide. Interesting. It does come with a magnetic charging cord, which this seems to be the same as all the other smartwatches that I have. So I was kind of worried when I first got one of these cables at some proprietary magical cord that if you lose you're in trouble, but they all seem to use the same cord. It just has little pogo pins and two little magnets. So yeah, this cord's it's about like 10 to 12 inches long, so not super short, not super long. Warranty card. We have the user manual, and oh, here it does say 300 milliamp hours the battery capacity. There we go. Sensor STK8321. I guess that's like the CPU, or rather the MCU, the microcontroller. Or would this be an SoC? I don't know. Well, STK, that would be a microcontroller, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the UI, just looking through this, looks very similar to every other smartwatch that I've tried before. Non-name brand smartwatch, obviously. Comes with a protective thing. They really want you to install the app, probably because you cannot use this watch without the app. So I'm just going to take that off, set that there, and yeah, this is actually pretty small in size. I have like really small wrists, so this size of watch is perfect for me. For women it's probably fine as well. For men this might be a bit too small. It has two buttons on the side. Usually a lot of them will only have one, and one is has a red line through it to differentiate it. Looks like there's a mic there and a speaker slot there. And this did not mention waterproof rating. Oh no, it says water resistant, not necessarily waterproof. Fair enough. Comes with a, I actually like this band. It's like silicone. It's pretty soft and pretty stretchy. Has like a pattern on the top side. That's interesting. It has two little other silicone things to keep the band tucked. Sorry, you can't really see what I'm talking about. Yeah, these guys. And metal clasp. Yeah, overall it seems built decently well. The body feels like ABS. It says message reminder, sports function, health function, and telephone function. Here's the charging little bit here, and you can't get it backwards. The magnets are in opposite polarity so that it'll only go in one direction. And it does have like a pretty satisfying click. And the force it holds on is pretty good too, so that's good. The contacts, it's hard to tell under the lighting. I don't think they're gold plated. They might be. It's really hard to tell. These are like kind of yellow lighting, but they look like they're nickel plated. So these might, long term, if you sweat a lot with this on, that might kind of oxidize these contacts, but I guess we'll have to see. There's another little hole here. Interesting. Other than that, yeah, do not throw in trash can. It is ROHS lead free and FCC rating. Oh, I love this mechanism. So it has, this one you'll need to get like a tiny little screwdriver or have kind of long fingernails. It's recessed, but you can take these bands off really easily to switch. It has like a little nubbin, sorry, there you go, that you slide to the left and it'll unclasp it. So that's pretty good. I'm liking that. Let's see if it has a charge. I don't know which button to click to turn this on. No? Yeah, battery might be dead. I guess I'm gonna... Oh, no, it's just delayed. That's weird. It says hello, and English is my language, and I have to scan and bind it. Or you can use the app. I can skip it, though. Interesting. And the time is completely wrong, because probably the time zone is completely wrong, and the date's completely wrong. Okay. Every other smartwatch I've ever used, you have to use the app. You cannot set the time on the watch. It looks like this watch, I can set the time on it. So technically, if you wanted to buy this, if you just wanted like a nice looking, kind of slightly smarter than a cheap digital watch, you could buy this and just ignore the app and not use the app, and just, it'll be a dumb watch, obviously. You won't get any of the phone functionality or the Bluetooth features, but you can, okay, double tap to wake does not work, but you can set the date and time on the watch itself. I've been saying this for years. Thank God a company actually listened to me. So if their app goes off the App Store, you can still use this watch. Pretty much every other cheap kind of budget smartwatch I've ever tested, if their apps go off the store, then you can't set the time. So eventually it'll go out of time, or your battery will die and it'll reset to like midnight, and those watches will be useless. This watch you can keep using because you can set the time. Oh my God, now I'm excited. Okay, anywho, I'm gonna set this up and give this a use and get back to you guys. Yeah, so I've been using this watch pretty much every day, and basically, let's start with notifications and whatnot. You have to use the app to sync notifications from your phone, obviously. And it's actually very similar to all the other smartwatch apps I've seen from these non-name brand watches. It works. I do appreciate you don't have to log in to actually use any of the features, as far as I can tell. Maybe some of them you might need to in order to like synchronize if there's like a web component or whatever. But it seems like I was able to, I mean, you could see here, I'm not even logged in, and I was able to set up the watch and synchronize and take measurements and whatnot. So clearly, like 99% of everything seems to work, maybe even 100% seems to work using this watch without logging into the app, which is fantastic, because I'm kind of hesitant to install random apps that I have to give a bunch of permissions, and it's even worse when basically they're trying to get advertising money off of me by like running God knows what in the background. So at the very least, this app you do have to install to use most of the features of the watch, but you don't have to at least give them your email and all that. So it's you know, one step forward, one step back sort of thing. I do 100% appreciate that you could set the time on the watch using only the watch. You don't need to install the app to just use this as a regular watch, basically a digital watch that looks really nice. But without the app, you're not going to be able to set custom watch faces. It comes pre-installed with 2 watch faces on board, and only one of them you can overwrite. If I were to go into here, let's see. It's been a while since I've done this. How do I set the watch faces? Okay, well, anyway, I'll show you in a sec how to overwrite one of the onboard watch faces. But yeah, you can see here I am paired. I've never had an issue with like disconnecting or it not getting notifications. You do have to give it a lot of permissions, which is a little bit questionable. But I mean, most of the notifications came in no problems at all. It does the same thing as all the other smartwatches where you have to give it like per app permission. So there's a separate permission for allowing it to make phone calls versus getting text messages versus if you use third-party messaging services like Facebook or Kakao Talk or anything like that. You have to give permissions, per app kind of. So if we go into dial library, this is actually how you set the watch faces. There's tons and tons of watch faces, probably like 100 or so. But once you download them, it adds it to your My Dial, and you can delete it by clicking the minus sign, or you can click it and it'll push to the watch and it'll overwrite the second slot face basically. But you cannot save more than 2 watch faces to the watch. And I think one of them is always kind of the default. So you can technically only ever overwrite one and keep one. But as long as you have this app installed and paired and you save the watch face, even if their servers go down, this should still be accessible and you can push it. It takes about like 30 seconds to 40 seconds for it to write a new watch face on there. So yeah, there's that. The raise to wake functionality, you can actually change within the app. You can change what hours of the day that's active during, and I definitely appreciate that because the first night I didn't know you could do that, and the watch kept turning on as I moved around in my sleep, and it kind of woke me up. But I disabled that, so now I have it from like 9 or 10 p.m. till like 6 a.m. It won't wake up the watch if I accidentally raise my wrist or I roll over and it faces up. And I definitely noticed that saved a lot of battery life. Speaking of battery, the watch, it only reports battery life in 10% increments, which is sort of but I did notice I consistently get about a little over a day per every 10%. So theoretically, this should last easily 10 days. I think more realistically, probably closer to like 12 days or so. And that's while receiving notifications, while messing around on the watch, keeping the screen on for a little while. I think I have the timeout set to about 10 seconds. Actually, a little less than that. It looks like I have it set to like 5 seconds maybe. But anywho, I think it might be different. If you click the button, it takes longer to time out than if you just raise to wake. I believe you could set both of those values. Yeah, you can see it's about 10 seconds, and it does dim a little bit before it shuts off. But battery life on this guy is really good. One thing I did notice is it comes with what looks like the same cord as every other smartwatch. It has these pogo pins. It's magnetic. It's keyed, so it'll only snap on in one orientation. The way this is wired, I guess the polarity on these pins is the opposite of all the other smartwatches I own. I thought, oh, this looks identical to my other smartwatch. I'll try to use that cord to charge this, and it wouldn't charge. Luckily, it didn't damage anything. And as soon as I plugged in this cord that came with this watch, then it charged. So clearly, they're not compatible. Do not lose this cord because chances are you're not going to be able to get this exact cord with the exact correct polarity without cutting in and splicing if you find like a third-party cord. So do not lose this cord to charge this watch because you'll have trouble charging it basically. The sleep, I've noticed, it is inconsistent. All these smartwatches tend to do this. I noticed they have like weird tracking of like your sleep modes. Like it'll definitely record the data, but it takes some time for it to show up. is the best that I can explain it. Like, as soon as I wake up, it'll display it here, but it won't populate in this last 7 days section until like a couple days after the fact. I don't know if this is a bug or some unexpected behavior. I don't understand it, but I usually just check this screen as soon as I wake up, and this will be populated. But like none of these have been populating properly, except for some reason on the 4th it did record that date. No idea what's going on there, but that's the way it's been working for me. I believe the actual app itself will record all that data. You can, within the app, within the first tab, you can actually do health measurement, and it'll try to take all the data and sync it from the watch and take any current measurements as well. Like if I go into sleep, yeah, like it's spotty. It's missed a couple days apparently, and I haven't worn this every day to sleep because I will say that the silicone strap, it's kind of hot now. The silicone strap, while being like perfectly sweat proof, is not super comfortable to sleep in. If you get this watch, if you're planning on wearing this 24/7, I would replace the band. It is really easy to clean. I do appreciate that. It's like good while you're exercising and whatnot, but just wearing it all day, even when you sleep, is kind of uncomfortable, if I'm being a bit honest. And I have kind of hairy wrists, and this silicone material is perfect for like grabbing hairs and ripping them out of my wrist randomly as I'm like moving my hands. So that's really painful and uncomfortable. So I would probably opt for a different type of band. I really wish they would go with like the magnet. I had one smartwatch that has a magnetic band, and I love that. It's so easy to put on, and it's secure and it's super comfortable. I would look for one of those and replace this. Luckily, this has this standard kind of watch band that you just you can use like a little pin or something, or your fingernail if you have long enough fingernails, and easily take this off. So this band it looks very standard and replaceable. So that is the good news. I do appreciate that there's various like quick setting modes. If you swipe down from the bottom, you got all your messages. I'm gonna try not to dox myself, but they're all here. And if you swipe from the left, you get your like last 4 used apps, as well as like a quick thing to make a phone call and the weather. And so you can just click that, and yeah, apparently you could switch on and off Bluetooth quickly, etc., etc. If you swipe down from the top, you have like what's equivalent to your notification shade. You can change the brightness. I just have it on the lowest brightness because honestly, that's plenty enough, and the battery lasts super long. You have quick media controls if you're using your phone to play audio back, and this is tethered via Bluetooth. That's really cool. We can turn on and off different features, like you can turn on like a do not disturb night mode. You can turn on and off vibration. You can turn on and off the audio source. That's the same thing as going in here and clicking the phone button. Yep, you can search for your phone if you lost it. And you can access the settings real quick. So yeah, there's like multiple ways to do the same thing. Here you could see all the different settings. Battery, you can set a power saving mode. I really haven't found the need to do that because it seems to last like well over like a week and a half anyway. So I've never used that, but I guess it gives you the option. If you can actually set, if you scroll right, you can set the order and what all these icons are by moving them around in this menu by clicking the plus button at the very end. I definitely appreciate that. That's really cool. And yeah, media control, I honestly haven't really used that. I guess it's neat that it's there. I don't like having like that as a separate app. I really like having the buttons just here. Obviously, you can't control the volume from this, but at least you can control the track controls. That's really cool. There is a separate button. If you click the bottom red button, it takes you into like the sports mode. And one really cool thing I've noticed, I have this on obviously when I'm just going throughout my day, and I forgot to turn on one of the sports tracking mode, and I was exercising on the treadmill, and this auto detected that like my heart rate increased and my step count increased, and it notified me like, you're exercising, aren't you? And then I clicked yes on it, and then it started tracking. It basically opens up whatever the equivalent mode it thinks that you're doing physical activity wise. That's pretty cool. But yeah, additionally, if you click the top button from this main screen, when the screen's on, it takes you to basically like all the different apps that are installed. You can use this to take pictures. It doesn't work with the stock Android camera app. It works through, if I just open this for a sec, it'll work through its own app. So this is its own camera mode, and this will work obviously, but it's sort of, I really wish it would have just worked with the standard Android camera app. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. It's just a Bluetooth device. Yeah, there's plenty of different like sub apps if you're interested in that sort of thing. It does blood pressure, oxygen, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know the accuracy of all the measurements, but I suppose it's better than not having any kind of measurements. It does seem that I've noticed that the pedometer tends to be overly enthusiastic. I'm pretty sure it's counting sometimes like more than one step per every step that I actually take. So a lot of these aren't super accurate for the pedometer functionality. So that's sort of, take that with a grain of sand. If you just want something that looks like an Apple Watch but don't want any of the app kind of stuff, at least you can use this without the phone. And you can at least set the time on the watch itself. I've been saying this for years. Every smartwatch should be able to run untethered from a phone at a very basic capacity. At least show me the time and allow me to set the time. So I appreciate that they took that extra step to do that. It does seem pretty useful, I would say. This guy was pretty cheap. I think this was only like maybe 40-ish bucks. Definitely under $50. So I think this is actually a pretty good deal for what you're getting for the money, and it does seem to work very well and have pretty good stamina in terms of like the battery life runtime. The app does seem maybe not super polished, but it does work pretty well for what you'd need it to do. I have no problems with that. I appreciate that it doesn't make you log in to use the most of the features. At least everything that I've tried works without me giving them my email. But you do have to give an awful lot of permissions for the app to run in the background and whatnot, and for it to access everything. I guess it's to be expected because of the way that Android security works. Third-party apps don't by default get access to like your emails and your messages and be able to make or receive phone calls, that kind of stuff. So you do have to give that kind of permission. So you are going to have to give a little bit of trust to the manufacturer FitVII, that they're not doing anything nefarious with those permissions and running whatever it's running in the background on your phone. But at least so far, I haven't noticed anything weird on my phone. I have like a third-party antivirus thing that I assume would tell me if things were being accessed that really shouldn't be. But yeah, anywho, overall, I think this is a pretty good smartwatch. I think replacing the band would be the first thing that I would do personally. I'm actually going to end up giving this to a relative. I'm not super big on smartwatches. I'm going back to wanting just a dumb watch with a battery that lasts like 10 years. So I currently wear a Casio digital like LCD watch, a dumb watch that just always works, and the display is just always on, obviously. I think I prefer that over a watch like this. So it's not really for me, but I definitely have a few relatives that would probably like this kind of watch. So I will be gifting this to them. But yeah, overall, pretty happy with this. I'd like to thank FitVII once again, or is it FitVIII? I don't know. Once again for sending this guy in for review. If you guys are interested, I will have links down below on where you can get yours, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.